Well, Joe Biden has hit another new low as president for an approval rating, but it's not necessarily historic. Why don't you explain?
So Joe Biden is underwater with approval rating already, which happened obviously just because of, he was dropping before Afghanistan, but he crossed the line during the Afghanistan crisis. He's now at 46% approval as an average. So that is above where Donald Trump was at this time.
It was like 45, 44.
Trump bounced between 37 and 45 his entire presidency. Okay. So
But Trump is also somebody who I think we should throw the Trump ratings out because no other president had, remember the pink hat revolution and everything that went against Trump. The entire time it was against Trump.
And Donald Trump was just a different guy. He came in as a celebrity after multiple decades. He was obviously very divisive figure. He had major movements against him. I got it. So let's throw him out as an anomaly. Let's look at all of the other presidents. Okay. So Joe Biden is doing worse than Barack Obama was at this time.
Okay.
Joe Biden is doing worse in approval rating than George W. Bush was at this time. And that's notable largely because it's September 2nd, as I say this, 9 days before September 11th.
And George Bush was not liked at that time.
Yeah.
Nobody really knew him yet.
Yeah, but this before he got the giant popularity burst after September 11th.
He was selected, not elected.
Biden is doing worse than even he was there.
Okay.
He is about the same as Bill Clinton was at this point in his presidency. However, that's about to change because Clinton started on a down note and then is in the middle of his recovery where he would rise up to 59% here eventually. So he's about to be behind Bill Clinton. Joe Biden is behind George H.W. Bush in popularity at this point in the presidency. He is behind Ronald Reagan at this point in his presidency.
Jeez.
He is behind Jimmy Carter at this point in his presidency. Gerald Ford is a little bit different. Ford, he's actually slightly ahead of, although that could very well change in about a month where Ford recovers to above 50%, but we'll see on that one.
No way that happened. And Ford I remember Ford. He was just like, everybody was pissed at him because they thought he just gave Nixon a pass.
Right. He started off very popular, then did that, and then dropped down well under 50%.
Correct.
Speaking of Nixon, though, Joe Biden is behind Richard Nixon in approval rating at this point in his presidency.
In both terms?
I have it in the 4. I can look at his 8-year. Yes, it would be both terms.
Because the impeachment was going on.
Well, the impeachment, he didn't really start following until, let's see, day 1533. Yeah. So he had some time on that one. So Biden is behind Richard Nixon. He's also behind Lyndon Johnson in approval rating. He's also behind John F. Kennedy in approval rating. He's also behind Dwight Eisenhower in approval rating. And he's also behind Harry Truman in approval rating at this time.
And Harry Truman didn't have support.
He started off pretty strong, but fell off pretty quickly. So he's still ahead of him at this point. So the only exceptions, in modern times, Joe Biden has the worst approval rating at this point in his presidency, with the only exceptions being Gerald Ford and Donald Trump. And Bill Clinton is an asterisk. They're basically tied at this point. So it's not going well. This has not been a raging success.
So if you were in the Biden camp, you would say this is suboptimal.
Suboptimal. It would be a very good use of the term.
Okay.
Suboptimal.
Right. That would be.
There's optimal.
Yeah.
This is optimal. We'll call it suboptimal. And it's funny because, again, this is a guy who's supposed to be a pragmatic, moderate guy who can see both sides. I mean, this is the biggest lie of the entire presidency so far. He's not that guy at all.
When people said Donald Trump would lie, it was usually an exaggeration, or it was just, it was just part of him. Okay, it was just part of him. He was, he is, and I don't mean this as a slam. He was P.T. Barnum. He was a guy who was a salesman.
You can read his books and he describes, he doesn't use that term, but he describes you have to show the excitement, the enthusiasm about what you're talking about is really important.
And so he
told us that in advance.
Right. He was always like that. This guy is not like that. The lies that are happening now, George Bush lied, people died. Hello? The lies that are being told now are so monumental and so easily proven But that may change. They just removed the list of all the weapons that were left behind on the federal websites. They just deleted all of that. So does history have record? Will they have record of that? I think only if we preserve it as individuals, because they're changing it. So you can't say you were lying, because how do I prove it? You just deleted everything.